Well, we're just a few days away from May, which means we're getting pretty close to summer when we expect to see E3 kick off with game announcements and presentations all over the place. This year, though, it's going to be a bit different as there is no E3, so we're kind of looking to things like Summer Games Fest or just these companies doing their presentations whenever they feel like it. So it might not necessarily be in that second week of June. But it does appear that things are about to get very interesting for Microsoft as they decided to announce their showcase first, and this tells me we're probably going to see a bunch of other announcements from different companies follow. Guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure you hit that like button, and if you're new here to the Spawnwave Plus channel, make sure you subscribe down below. Let's head over here. This was posted up on the news.xbox.com site. I'm also going to have a quick shout out to this whole story tomorrow in Newswave, but I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about this because I was looking through the different notes for tomorrow, and it's pretty packed. There's a story that's very interesting around Square Enix going on right now that let's spend quite a bit of time on, but we can see this is Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase. Join us Sunday, June 12th for the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase. And it's smart for them to just put it all together, make it feel like one continuous show rather than break it apart. Bethesda has their showcase and Microsoft has their own. Also because their big game this year clearly is coming from Bethesda, and that's Starfield. I mean, the marketing, this card here, is geared all around Starfield, right? It's space. You see the light obviously shining around here. That's what I think is going to be their big moment here at E3 is finally showing this game off, which we've pretty much been sitting around with concept art, developers sitting around a table talking about it, and the occasional look at a robot down a hallway or something. It's mostly been relying on leaks from different people online, and we're not sure if they're even correct in the first place there. So this is kind of following the typical Bethesda setup for some of their games, which they did with Fallout 4, where they showed gameplay and then a couple months later the game came out. So I am very curious to see Starfield. Clearly the idea of Fallout or Skyrim or something in space is very compelling, and this being built on their new creation engine makes me wonder what exactly we're going to get out of it and what it's going to be able to do. Now, they do have the time here. That's Sunday, June 12th, 10 a.m. Pacific. The show will feature amazing titles coming from Xbox Game Studios, Bethesda, and our partners around the world. The Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase will include everything you need to know about the diverse lineup of games coming soon to the Xbox ecosystem, including upcoming releases to Game Pass on Xbox and PC, and we expect them obviously to harp on Game Pass consistently throughout the show. Any of these games we see from their game studios would be going into the service day one anyway. They'll have third-party games in there that probably won't be going to Game Pass, but I'd say 70 to 80% of the games we see here will be day one into Game Pass. And that also brings up Microsoft's other titles that we're kind of expecting this year. Redfall has been sort of in and out of the news, and there's been a lot of talk that it's actually coming out later in this year, whereas originally it was going to be summertime. I mean, the fact that we're about to head into May, and we really haven't heard much about this game outside of its original announcement, and then once again, leaks that got out there of the game clearly in an unfinished state. The other big game I'm looking at right now is Forza, the Forza Motorsport title, and that they had to kind of shuffle around the releases of Forza where they'd go like every other release. Not quite this time. We had Horizon 5 last year, and a lot of that had to do with Forza Motorsport moving to this new engine that they're using, and apparently Fable's going to be built on the Forza engine as well from what we're gathering through different LinkedIn profiles and stuff, if I'm remembering correctly. So I'm going to be very curious to see how this Forza Motorsport title looks. One, for the engine, and then two, obviously in comparison to what we've had very recently from Sony with Gran Turismo 7. And then there's the big elephant in the room with something like Perfect Dark. Will they be ready to show that with Crystal Dynamics coming on board? Maybe they would have helped them get a very brief gameplay demo ready to go to at least showcase what exactly you're doing in the game, the perspective, first person versus third person, maybe a very small vertical slice of a level. Also, Fable, would Playground Games be ready to show that one? Would Avowed be ready potentially with a release window? Are we going to hear anything from the Coalition? And the list kind of goes on and on and on there, right? So I'm very curious to see what Microsoft has set up for this summer. Last year at E3, Microsoft had a pretty good E3 overall, I would say. So I'm hoping they're able to top it here and start tapping into all these different studios that they've been accruing. And I mean, after this year, we get into 2023, we're going to expect this to be the Xbox, Bethesda, and Activision Blizzard showcase. You start stacking all these publishers, and this could end up being a massive showcase that's like multiple hours long of just all these big titles being shown. And things will get interesting this summer, but also into the future, the coming years. Maybe E3 does make its return, and we have a massive show from Microsoft, even showcasing the latest Call of Duty or Diablo or Overwatch title. But let me know what you guys think about this and what you think Microsoft will be showing here, especially any big-time surprises that you think they could have. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.